Hello, it's Bob Clater again. This is Chapter 3. My daughter Carrie and I have decided, trying to decide what would be interesting to you all. So our company is certainly a company of people. You all represent us to our clients, and the company's really not me. They don't see me back here, but they do see all of our frontline employees. So I was talking about Handy Mart number 3, and I ended up by saying 4 of the first 5 store managers that we had actually ended up staying with us till they retired. I just thought you might be interested in who they are. Kitty and Bill Howard started our first Handy Mart in Tom's Brook. They were actually truck drivers on the road, over-the-road truck drivers who had several children, didn't get to see them much. So they took over the Tom's Brook Handy Mart store and finally met their neighbors. They didn't know their neighbors because they were on the road, but it became a real institution for the town of Tom's Brook. And they ended up knowing everybody, and because of that, our store was very successful there. Our second store manager was Jenny Miller, that became Handy Mart number 1 up on top of the hill. She worked with us until her dad got sick and she had to leave to take care of him. We thought she'd come back, but unfortunately, or fortunately for her, she started having grandchildren then, so she took care of grandchildren. Catherine Bowman, a real institution in our company. Catherine worked for us, Handy Mart number 4. Handy Mart number 3, by the way, in his early days was simply run out of the bulk plant. So our bulk plant manager there was Walker Poe. Walker worked for us for over 30 years, ran that plant and ran the convenience store for quite a while. He ended up retiring with our company. And Catherine Bowman took over Handy Mart number 4, and she worked for us. Actually, we transferred her to start up Handy Mart number 5 out on Centenary Road. And she and Patsy Thomas, Patsy actually took over Handy Mart number 4. All of those ladies worked to us until they retired. Handy Mart number 5 actually was taken over by Letty Golightly, whose son we're fortunate enough to have working for us also. And Letty also worked for us to retire and still around Winchester. And again, her son Eric has been working for us for a long time and takes great care of us. So we have Handy Mart number 4, which was Berryville Avenue. Then Centenary Road was number 5. Then we leased Chandler Hills, Texaco in 1986. Texaco actually owned a lot of these interstate stations, and as the dealers decided to retire, we bought some of those leases out. We didn't own them at that time. We did finally take over the ownership of some of these stations. Chandler Hills, Texaco is now our Handy Mart number 17, but in 86 that was just a 3-base service station. We bought a little station in Middletown, which became Handy Mart number 7. We still own that station. Another really big deal for our company was in 1988, our local competitor, Old Heat and Burner Service, was for sale. And Old Heat and Burner Service was the Exxon distributor and had been for multiple generations. When they sold, I flew down to Houston, Texas to try to convince Texaco to turn that distributorship over to us. And by golly, they did. So 1988, very important time for us. We took on the Exxon franchise, which has been a very important part of our growth. We were laughing the other day, back at that same time as we got into convenience stores, we bought our first tractor trailer. I remember that well. It was a cab over to International with a sleeper on the back of it. And then finally we got enough money together to buy our second tractor trailer. So we were high style until one morning, one of our drivers came to work and backed one of our tractor trailers into the other and put them both in the shop. So we went from no tractor trailer to 2 tractor trailers back to no tractor trailers. So it's interesting the things that you remember, but we certainly have some really, really great things in our company, but we also have a few times when you think, golly, I wish that hadn't happened to us. So we'll go on from here the next time on Chapter 4, but we're ending up on taking over the Exxon franchise. Prior to that, our whole legacy from 1932 to 1988 was only Texaco. 1988 gave us a real hallmark and a growth future with Exxon. So see y'all the next time for Chapter 5, or 4, Chapter 4. Thanks.